Hello, 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 hello. So, this is an impromptu reading. I feel like I haven't been here for so long, but life, definitely life. So, I was just shuffling through some decks and this card jumped out. It says The Martyr. This is actually from the Secrets of the Ancestors. Let me turn this light up a little bit better, but Secrets of the Ancestors deck. So basically, it's very beautiful. I like it, but yeah, this card is definitely we're getting. This is the Wisdom from the Year reading, we could say, and it's saying like self-reflection, sacrifice, the energy of like putting something on hold, and there is a difference between letting go or giving up, which I definitely feel. You may have that same energy where you've had to take or had to take multiple pauses throughout the year, to get your mind right, to get yourself back in alignment. And I definitely feel like, people in general need things like that. If you're feeling trapped, stagnant, or stuck in any moment, if you're feeling uncertainty, anything like that, the solution is that you let it go. And you may be asking how, right? But that's what the sacrifice is, a healthy sacrifice. A sacrifice doesn't have to mean whatever historically it's actually meant. The real word is just meaning to give up. So thinking about what are you giving up, and that energy, what can it remedy? Like if you're giving up that feeling of stagnation, if you're giving up that energy of, that energy that is like closed, restricted, things of that nature, is a healthy sacrifice that's necessary. Giving up negative self talk is a healthy sacrifice that's necessary. Not every sacrifice that is healthy, it's necessary, but it may not seem like it. But when you look back, of course, it'll all make sense and why you had to do the things that you had to do. And asking yourself, like, what if you did the opposite of everything that you're doing right now? You know, this is corresponding with the hangman. It's the energy of surrendering and trusting and, being still at peace, even in rocky moments. I kind of like the imagery of the card because it's kind of showing like rocks, crystals down here, something a little bit rocky, but still like her expression, even when it's upside down, is like peace, not worried, of course, kind of with that energy. So the martyr showing also 12, the number 3. But yeah, it's really looking at the lineage, your lineage, and your ancestral medicine is, you're not being punished at any point when you're like making these changes or sacrifices, anything like that. Although it may feel like it, if you wait and take a moment to reflect, this is a luxury that many of people that didn't have, to take moments, to take pause, to put something down and coming back and, being able to manage their stimulation, like, not being overstimulated and constantly having to survive and make way through any difficult moment. So, excuse me. So the ancestral memory here as well. This is basically shown as the great ancestress Sarah Lakali, meaning Sarah the Black. And this was an Egyptian prophetess and a patron saint of the Romani. And the oral history says that Saint Sarah had the highest divine lineage, of course. So I'm just looking into this energy of the pause and the reflect and the self reflection, pushing yourself, self-sacrifice. I have two decks here so we can get the wisdom of the year. And at the bottom of the wisdom deck, it says it's the imagine. Imagine. I like that energy. It's like sleep. It's also like reaching. You can kind of see a person here reaching up. You know, being able to travel. Maybe you're traveling during your dreams, something like that. Also, the card down here is 911, inevitability. So I do want to see what comes out. I hope you resonate with this reading in some way and enjoy it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, whatever. Just wanted to come back here and enjoy, the readings again and everything. So let's see if we can get the sounds. All right, let's see. One moment, see if we can get these sounds. So let the wisdom that we have learned, lessons and all of that come out, Spirit, just to see exactly what we learned and how we can alchemize it, learn from it. We had one that flipped. I like this one. It's very nice. Purpose, purpose, purpose. So I'll move this to the top. You can kind of still see it, but self-reflection, we got purpose. What else? Figuring out what your purpose is. Getting your purpose to bring you stability. I know that's every creative's, I think that should be everybody's dream. Having your unique divine purpose be also the stability in your life. I was actually thinking about that really this morning before I started this reading, and just thinking about how important it is to have the things that you love be the things that bring you your stability in life. That way you don't feel like it's such a chore to do what you have to do, which is to have that stability. The stability is a must. The purpose for so many people has become so optional because your purposes could be the things that not bringing you as much money as you want, or you haven't figured out how your purpose can bring you the money that you want and desire. So let's see, let's do three. And so every number is a double number. That's nice. So we got 749, 774499. And this one symbolizes truth, purpose, stability, and truth. So speaking out your calling. Bottom of the deck right now is inspiration. Inspiration. Okay. So the energy off of these cards, basically we're looking at all these are double numbers, which is good. The card of purpose, definitely something that it's like a spiritual wake-up call. It's like checking in on your mindset, your miracles, any upheavals, anything that's set in your way that will kick up a dust. So I think about, the shakeups in life that happen, and think about if you took sand and water from a beach, let's say, and put it in a cup, and then you basically you had a layer of sand at the bottom, and you took a spoon or whatever, and you made a gyration in the cup, it would stir up and stir up and stir up, and it would become cloudy. But again, just like every time, the sand will fall to the bottom of the cup. The sand will, rest. It'll eventually, when everything clears and calms down, it'll come down as well, right? So that energy of like trust, that things will, the upheavals and, miracles, anything that is heading your way, that does like kick up the dust of life, stirs up the dust of life. Those things that are heading your way, and when you approach them, like trusting and loving it and understanding that this is something that's getting you closer to your purpose, your connection with the infinite, that trusting, that really knows how to get you where you want to be. You may know the destination, but the GPS, the infinite GPS, knows how to get you there as well. So that's the trust. Trust that you can reach your purpose, trusting that there'll be stability, and trusting that you can speak and live in your truth as well. So it says, just cast aside your fears, cast aside your doubts, you know, remember that you are way more than you actually, can see. And remember that when you invite in more of what you are, when you're attracting, putting out the thoughts that you actually want to see return to you, you can always incorporate a little more love and light into your life. So this card is all about inner strength to overcome any difficulties, aligning with your soul purpose, positive changes happening and unfolding all along your path, and tuning to a frequency of love and growth. So, your affirmation for this card is I am exactly where I need to be. If you resonate with that purpose card, I am exactly where I need to be. I am exactly where I need to be. And kind of saying that, over and over to yourself does help you understand and put that into your mind. Because that's really the only person that we need to convince of our purpose. You only have to convince yourself. Everyone else is going to see the outward results. So, it says, look at you. This card is, that look at you energy. You're finally not in that shaking up place. Everything has rested and settled, and you have that stability. So, been putting in that hard work, of course, and you're laying the foundations. So, when you're looking at stability, don't look at it like a chore that you have to do this, do that. Look at it as the building blocks for the funner things. Like, everybody thinks about the house, and the foundation is so important. But when they go to I'm doing a lot of house touring and things like that. So when you're doing that, everybody wants to see the flashy things. Let's say, the kitchen and the appliances, the bathroom and the fixtures, all of that. But the most important thing that all of this is standing on, all of the beautiful things that you have acquired, all of that is standing on your foundation. And your solid foundation is built block by block with these things like, being strong, being steady, supporting yourself, living in your purpose, living out your truth, things like that. Those are, what your foundation is built upon. And your angels, your guides, this is definitely they see you, and this is a message of support for you. So this is the energy of like overcoming any obstacles that come up every time, like one step at a time. It's like playing whack-a-mole, being very thoughtful about your being very thoughtful about your mind and your energy and your vibration, it does have people, kind of going, I won't say crazy, but just having to be very vigilant about what they think and all of that. And it can become tiresome to some people, which is understandable, but you think 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. So it is imperative that those thoughts are the ones that you actually want to like send out and want things to come back from. It's like that old saying that says, "My words shall not return unto me void." Also, your thoughts, they don't say that in there, but your thoughts are also so powerful and have such a frequency that is being sent out by your brain and it's also receiving those same things that you're putting out. So it is imperative that you focus on the blocks that you're laying, right? It's imperative that you focus on the things that you're actually bringing into fruition by the things that you say, the thoughts that you think, and everything of that nature, of course. So, this card is all about what your well-beings and your habits are doing to contribute to your overall well-being. So this card really means, strong foundation and stability, inner work and healing, positive solutions are available to you, and celebrating your hard work and reaping your rewards. And that's all the stability. People think about the stability of, having already, but not the what it takes to get that stability. So how do you lay a foundation? If it's brick by brick, if it's pouring concrete ounce by ounce, pound by pound, whatever it is, it has to get done, and it has to be something, like I said, not the funnest part of the process, not the sexiest part, not the, oh, I want to pick out this type of concrete and I want these type of accents. It's obviously not as beautiful, I guess, as having and making the kitchen and the bathroom and the, you know, decorating with the furniture, but it is extremely important because all of that rests. What you do now, all of that rests and relies on your ability to enjoy all of the smaller things in life. Your kitchen, when in comparison to how important your foundation is smaller because you can always change out an appliance that you don't like, change some countertops. But if your foundation is bad, we right. So the truth. It's a 99 card, and it's really a sign to pay attention, right? And the forces you may feel are, it could be like attempting to guide you to a better understanding of yourself and your purpose. And this card is talking about purpose as well. And I was thinking about that. Just your truth, it often guides you. The forces may, like I said, be guiding you to understand yourself and turn up a little bit more, like, and getting more intense during this period just because of personal development and growth. It's like everything in nature is taking that self-reflection energy that we have at the top with the martyr, that energy of, being out. Thank you for your like. I appreciate that. It's that energy of, that truth. We are all going inside and really, finding ourselves, getting ready, preparing ourselves for the next season, obviously. And with this season, it's so beautiful because it's the time where you can focus in and no one else feels like it's selfish of you to do that. Everybody is so intensely focusing on themselves, right? So to make the best choices for you in your future, laying that foundation, which the last card talks all about, and understanding when and understanding the best ways that you like to tap into your spiritual side. There are thousands upon thousands of ways to, tap into your spiritual side, to get in tune with yourself and to just self-reflect and to sacrifice what needs to be let go in order to bring in the higher timeline of yourself. So it's really about asking yourself, what feeds your soul? Are you living truthfully? And letting this new chapter begin where that last one ended, right? So, the truth, when you're living in your truth is evolving, right? You're finding your true path in life. You're connecting to your higher self. And there's a period of powerful growth and transformation. A lot of cycles coming in full circles right now. And this affirmation for this card is I owe no explanations for doing what is best for me. I owe no explanations for doing what is best for me. I owe no explanations for doing what is. Okay. And this affirmation, I think I missed this one. The 4-4. The 4-4 was I am strong, steady, and supported, which is obviously the card of stability. So I am strong, steady, and supported. I am strong, steady, and supported. And then, like I mentioned, of course, already, the purpose card is I am exactly where I need to be. I am exactly where I need to be. I am exactly where I need to be, even when it doesn't feel like it. All right, let's get some wisdom. All right, let's see. First card to pop out is Happy Happy 26. Also the number 8. Also got 45, number 9, time to go. Let's scoot these up. Perfect. Okay. And let's get one more. And the last one that actually flipped out was higher power. Looks like 4 is definitely a theme. You know, even if you minus this, it still gives you 4. So, but yeah, 4 is that number. Obviously, a lot to do with stability, stability, stability everywhere. You know, showing up. So, I can't blame that. I do like the energy of being happy, letting go, trusting in the higher power. Kind of leads all back to that energy of, focusing in on what your purpose is. And of course, at the bottom of the deck in the beginning was the Imagine card. So here, Imagine is like turning imagination into manifestation, right? Your creative thoughts, aligning with your creative thoughts and focusing on thoughts that are constructive rather than destructive, right? Have to do that always. It's very much unnecessary for all of us, of course. But yes, the number we have first is the 26 number. Obviously, I mentioned that was the 8, which is that energy of, getting that, what's that life cycle symbol? The infinity symbol that comes with the 8. So, but yeah, the energy of happy, happy. I like that. It's kind of showing around all the numbers, but the energy of the happy, happy is like eternal happiness is the energy I'm getting because of the 8. But yes, it's like that joy, contentment, and fulfillment, and getting a feeling that all is well, right? And knowing that your desires are effortlessly fulfilled, and finding the joy in whatever the present moment is, whatever is happening, and being just satisfied with things as they are. So right now, you're freeing yourself from like the shackles of feeling constrained or whatever issues you may have dealt with, and not being able to express the joy. Right now, you're being able to experience the liberation that comes from actually being happy in each moment. And it's for you to choose your happiness over yearning for it. So, now is the time for feeling joy just for the sake of joy, experiencing contentment in each moment, radical happiness, the type of happiness that people will call you crazy for, just appreciating the nature around you and the small things in life. People will call you crazy or say something's wrong with you for, wanting to show appreciation for the amazing life that is abundant all around us. But those are really the most prosperous things. That's the things that really attracts more things. The things in nature, all of that energy and vibration loves to be around the happiness attracts more to it, right? So whatever kernels, seeds, anything that you can find, you see how like this is not just exuding from her, it's also coming to her. It's like the symbolism on this card, of course. So the message, of course, is like this is a time to take pride in whatever accomplishments that you have had this year, and knowing that you're doing good work. As well, not being down on yourself if you haven't been, if you're not exactly where you wish to be. But yeah, just knowing that you're doing good work, providing exceptional service, and knowing that you are well compensated for it. The world rains gratitude upon you. It's kind of like I said, she's not just pushing that out, she's also receiving it, right? So if you look closely, even the symbolism on the card is like she has her own aura that's like being sent out, and it's a bit smaller than that golden aura that you can see. If you can see the colors there, but it's still hers now. She's tapping into it. So it's like you can't even feel the difference, or you can't see the difference because it's so enmeshed in her now, as well. So making that a part of you, not making it something that you have to do or something that anything is separate from you. Also, she's on a foundation, which is nice as well for the symbolism of what we've already had. So it says, isn't it amazing to consider all that you've done? Remember your partnership with spirit. Obviously, I like the higher power card coming out, the truth card as well. And it's just that energy of that your soul has always known that you could accomplish anything if it brought you joy. you know that's the energy. Not being worried about, or if you're going to achieve the things that you want to achieve, or if this or if that. It's really the energy of letting go of what doesn't make you happy in order to hold more of what is there for you. That deep knowing, all of that energy and more. So next we have the time to go, which is, of course, thinking about what makes you happy. You always have to assess, right? Which is the card that we had first, the assessing card. And knowing when the endings are there, knowing when it's you have to walk away from something because there's just nothing else to learn, there's nothing else to experience. At the end of the day, you are at the end of your journey, and you're beginning your next one. So even if that path isn't clear out, it's like step by step. I like that this bridge has it not just all together in like one solid foundation. If you could see it, it's like built plank by plank. Can you see? It's built plank by plank by plank, right? And that's another thing. While with stability being that card that focuses on that, you know, a lot of times we think we need that stability before we're able to go out there and things of that nature. But sometimes you have to step out on faith and just trust that the next plank that is there for you will be there, and that you'll have it in the moment, of course. So, like I mentioned, it's like take stock of what you learned. Obviously, always, reflect and also know when it's time to move on. And, this message is clear. The path that you've been on with your work, any for these creative processes, whatever business, all of this has come to an end. So, you will not find the success you desire by continuing what is now in front of you. This is a sign to let you know that the greatest risk that you can take right now will benefit you far beyond what you can understand. And when you step into the unknown, when you're walking towards something new, this card is pertaining to that energy of like a neutral concept of completion. You finished your desires, you finished the task, and you can rest when you've put a lot of these old things to the end. So you've finished your task. You can rest assured that this ending will open up a powerful new beginning, a new avenue of opportunity. Like any path that you're going on, when you actually get there, if you retrace your steps, you'll figure out it was like a wiggly line. It's never a clear cut thing to whatever you're trying to get to, right? It's a GPS. I call it a divine GPS. It's always divinely guiding you, and it does look like a wavy path, and then you may come against a roadblock, but that was just telling you to take a new, avenue, and it's opening up more than you could have expected. And since you have done all that you can, now it's time for you to trust that spirit keeps your plan moving when you are in that rest period, when you're in that reflection period. That Sarah, right? Sarah Kali, right? That energy when you're in that self reflection energy, when you are letting go of things, trust that all of these things, and remember that your fortune will require you to conclude a past chapter in order for you to open up a new chapter, right? And remember that when you close one door, one always flings open at the exact same moment. It's like the moment somebody's dying, somebody's also being birthed. That is the cycle of life that none of us can escape, okay? And it's also great. So why would we want to escape it? You're right. But lastly and not least, of course, we have higher power. Higher power. Higher power is all about conscious contact with the divine presence. The divine presence that's, helping you take every breath, pump your heart. All of that is a unconscious contact with higher power. But the conscious contact that you make with higher power is, up to you how you do it. But the presence of the divine is you seeing source in all things and everything. And that's why I, took that moment to say, happy. People say, if you're divinely and enjoying something so delicious like nature, in whatever way, people will see that as weird for whatever reason. But the honest truth is that you're just appreciating the divineness that God placed in you and put it in everything else, right? So this card is excuse me, child. This card is definitely reminding you that you are more than a person trying to get ahead and make things happen. Of course, the more I talk about stability and purpose and outward tasks, right? Our mind immediately goes there, but it's not all about that, of course. This card is representing that you're more than all of the outward tasks and the things that you are trying to make happen for yourself or happen for others. Because you, of course, are someone with a divine purpose called upon you. So you're more than that, though. You're just an immortal soul. You're just gifted with this human life through the higher power that is expressing itself right now at this time through you. And at this time, just being aware of your conscious contact to spirit, asking yourself more often, like through prayer and meditation, asking about the good for all, or how can you, do the best for yourself and still be serving that same purpose, that same good. And I think it's like that getting back to the basics of it all. Of course, we complicate, but it's like after you build your house, we talked about the foundation, so I'll keep going with the house theme. After you build the house, after you, have things in place like the countertops and all of the appliances, you come back to even, hey, your furniture. When you do that, you'll come back to realizing come back to looking at and appreciating the small things like, oh, the amazing floors that you get to walk on every day. And, whatever you can find appreciation about, once something is already built and you're like living within that, now you're just like soaking up that goodness. And now you're just, living within that amazing energy as well. So it says, sometimes your work just flows through you. Your ideas come rushing in, and, your inspiration starts to bubble up from a wellspring that you didn't even know you could access, which is that energy of spirit working through you. And it's like when you enter agreements and you begin any projects, or you negotiating deals, or whatever you're doing, you're examining the energy that you're giving, and the attention that you're giving to it, like the attention in the back of your mind. You're cultivating that even more. You're not obsessing about being right, or assessing resentments, or failed expectations about anything. All of these things were protection. So anything right now that you're doing is really a sacred partnership with the divine, and you're turning away from other sources of power that don't serve your highest good. And there is no greater source than spirit, of course. So you can always surrender your troubles and trust that they will be taken care of. Like, you're in good hands. It's kind of, if you can see the two faces there, you can see that. But it's also that energy of, even her being supported on this divine, beautiful egg as well. And even the card I just showed you with Sarah Lakali, being, very still, even though you're in a moment, it seems like you're in a moment of upside down, but still knowing that you're supported. Like, her legs are essentially being held by these beautiful nature ropes. Can you see? So it's that energy of knowing no matter what, you can always come back to your core. Your core is your stability. You don't have to build a foundation outside of you in order to have stability. Your core is your stability, your purpose, your inspiration, the divine truth that comes from wanting that energy, right? Wanting the divine to be in your life and to guide you, and wanting to listen more. All of that is definitely, ooh, oh wow. I gotta get this card. I have to read this card because the card that we started out with is a number 12, and this card is the number 12. Like, do I have to read this, or do I have to read this? Like, this is perfect, right? So it says a change in the wind. You know, a change in the wind is definitely, I like this zebra too. It kind of reminds me of like the yin and yang. I've been thinking about that so much. I'm actually wearing black and white right now, and just thinking about the darkness and the lightness, and how both is necessary, but only one is like celebrated the most, of course, because we all love good times. But the yang times, or the yin and the yang, it's always necessary. So this card really is about a sense that unseen changes has been initiated in your life, and really preparing for that storm, if you will, right? Storm. But it's like the energy that I talk about with the cup in the ocean. If you have sand and water in it and you kind of stir it up, that's the wind, that's the storm, if you will. And your awareness is telling you that you're not fully on solid ground, which is crazy because it's on the card. Let me move all of these so you can see it clearly. But yeah, oh wow, the yang being right up under it. Oh wow, yeah, spirit is so high. But yeah, just like feeling that shift and feeling uncertainty about which direction the wind may blow you, but understanding that it's human nature to yearn for certainty and stability, and just resisting change. So you don't want to be too human, because that spirit side of yourself is okay with this or that. It's like that saying where they're like, oh no, your son, he got thrown off the horse, and he broke his leg. That's a bad thing. And then it's an old wise man, and he's like, maybe it's a bad thing, maybe it's not. And then the next day they come to like drive his son in the war, and it's like, oh, he didn't they couldn't take his son, so it's like, oh, that's a good thing, your son got to stay home. It's like, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. So it's like not trying to judge something too quickly, just to get your judgment out there. Being very conservative with their thoughts, and not being so quick to judge immediately when something is happening, right? There is always, as you're on this, as you endeavor, right, to create a prosperous life in any way, you may encounter any unexpected reversals, or good things, yins and the yangs, whatever, of life, and this can just cause you to shift directions. So this is a good thing. There's nothing to fear about shifting directions, right? So prepare to yourself to be aware of these opportunities. So perhaps any opportunities that you sought after, or if you went to someone else to pursue something, you may have realized that maybe this is not in your highest good. Maybe your highest good is like the truth of yourself and not relying on the certainty of another person or the certainty, quote unquote, of the outside world. You may not be 100% clear on where you need to go, but you are clear that things don't always have to go to plan. Circumstances don't always have to go to plan in order for things to end out right for you. Circumstances are not in your control right now. Even if they're not, wait it out. All will always be well. That sounds like a mouthful. All will always